It's Maddie with Vitality Ventures Group. Thanks for coming back for another episode of Vitality Vault. This week, our very, very special guest is Kayt Crow. We've known her for a while. We've been working with her. We've actually done a totally different podcast with her before. Kayt is a businesswoman extraordinaire. She wears every single hat that I can think of, from the aesthetic industry to opening a new food cart powerhouse in downtown Portland. She's got a lot on her plate. So I'm excited for you to hear how she's been keeping caught up with everything she's got going on. If you have any questions or want to contact Kayt, descriptions below, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything you could ever need, look for it down there. I gotcha. Lastly, before I go, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You wouldn't want to miss our next episode. Empowered women, empower women. Take it away, Kayt and Shannon.
What does she do? What is her routine? Because, I mean, it's really incredible. And really, for her character, the best glow up.
Absolutely. It made me so happy. Maddie, you don't watch Bridgerton, do you?
I have so much time this weekend, I finally get to watch it.
Are you going to watch all 3 seasons? Yeah. You know what's so funny, too? When I first watched it, I was like, oh, I love Bridgerton. Season 2, I was like, I don't really like this that much. But then I went back, and I like season 2 better now.
Yeah. Have you seen the, snippet of the Queen? Did you watch,
I watched the Queen Charlotte.
Yes, Queen Charlotte.
Yes.
So that one was also, I think, really enlightening for the characters. And I agree with you. I wasn't, a huge fan of season 2. But then going back after watching Queen Charlotte, I have a much better appreciation for all the little, sneaky innuendos that they do and, cross tales.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's a fun show.
The foreshadowing is solid.
Yeah. I was very happy with it. I was like, oh. And now we have to wait. I think that, 4 other episodes or something come out in, June?
In June. Yeah, and I know we're all, eagerly waiting. Okay, they just got out of the carriage. And he's like, well, are you coming with me? And she's like, wait. We're like, yes, girl, you're going.
Yes, you're going.
This
and he's
is
like,
your moment.
Right. And he asked her to marry him.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but you know what's going to happen? We know what's going to happen because she's fucking Lady Whistledown.
I know.
And he's not going to be happy about this.
Well, we got the sneak peek, and then...
Oh, I didn't even see the sneak peeks.
You didn't see the sneak peek?
No.
Well, she was like, either you tell him or I will.
Oh, Eloise? Well, she can't just keep doing it for the rest of their lives without him knowing.
No. Well, and he was like, oh, she's going down. He has, a vendetta against her for all of the damage that she's caused. It's going to be spicy. We'll see what they decide.
Yeah, but I guess this is Colin's story?
Yeah.
Right.
Is that who's next? Or I thought...
Well, no, Colin is because it's always the Bridgerton kids.
Yes.
So this is Colin's story.
Yes.
You know it's going to end up happy. I mean, they all end up happy, don't they?
I
don't need any bullshit.
So.
I don't need any bullshit. I can go through the ups and downs. I want it to be happily ever after, especially for Penelope.
I think Bridgerton does a really great job with that. I think maybe my pause was more with Downton Abbey. I have a Downton Abbey history, and so in my brain I'm like, no, what if something tragic happens? But
no, I think this is
we need to remain hopeful.
I mean, I think all the tragic stuff happened before it all started. That's
true.
Right?
Yeah.
So now it was... Oh, no, they're not going in alphabetical order because it started off with Daphne.
It's age-wise, I think. So next is...
Yeah, but Daphne wasn't the oldest. Daphne was first, then it was Anthony, now it's Colin. I'm assuming Benedict. Benedict? Is that his name? The middle guy.
The middle boy.
He'll probably be next. Or unless they're going to do a girl.
Hyacinthia?
Hyacinth?
Hyacinth. Yeah, Hyacinth.
Who's she?
She's the youngest sister.
Oh, that cute little thing?
Mm-hmm. She has her story. When her story comes up, when it's her time.
Have you read the books?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. I feel like you know more. Did you deep dive on this shit?
So I would say that my cheat sheet is that my siblings and my stepmom are all in the theater and drama world. So my sister's an actress in New York. My little sister is a casting director assistant in LA. And then my stepmom has been a manager and a drama director for years. So they are in all the details, both on stage and off of stage, and I get little snippets.
So now, where did you grow up again? And I remember you telling me this in the past, that your sister is a New York. Is she a triple threat sing dance act thing?
Yeah, she is.
Is she on anything now? Is she on stage right now?
Yes, so she's on Moulin Rouge on Broadway in New York.
Okay, so Moulin Rouge.
Kicking her face.
First of all, Moulin Rouge with Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I know. It's like...
But you know what? I got to tell you, it doesn't age that well.
Yeah.
We tried to watch it like a year ago, and I was like, maybe because of the graphic wise or visually, it just, it's an older film. But God, did I fall in love with Ewan McGregor in that movie.
I think we all did. So
yeah.
The Broadway version is very much aligned with the story, but some of the music changes are much more modern, and so it won 10 Tony Awards.
The music was fantastic.
It is a fun show.
I would totally go see that on Broadway.
If you're ever in New York, go check it out. It's worth it.
Now, what is she? A main character, or what is your sister? What's your sister's name? Everybody Google her right now.
So her name is Caitlin Mesh. She typically has been like the lady in the cage has been her main role, but she swings primarily as an understudy for Nene, which is, the four, get you, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she is the blonde main. Nene is the character that
is that Christina Aguilera?
Was it Christina?
In the music video. This is how I relate
it. Because in the
show,
in the Broadway
it's different.
show, she's blonde, so maybe that would be her singing role. I'd really have to check with my sister about which role that is. But she does the tango.
Oh, wow.
She does the tango. So if you see my sister do the tango, it is incredible the amount of work that these athletes do for Broadway.
Unbelievable.
8 shows a week. This woman is incredible. She's older than me. She's my big sister, and she's in the best shape of all of my siblings. And because of her work type,
Now, does she have a family?
Other than us siblings and her 2 cats?
No. Can you? It would be very difficult, I would think.
It's challenging. Not only dating in New York is challenging in itself, but also with her hours. She's on stage, she works, that evening time, where people go to shows, so 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and so usually people are coming home by the time she's headed to work.
Right.
They're trying to go to sleep by the time she's coming home and needs a couple, a drink and settling down with her cat.
Well, sure. It's like waiters and waitresses who work till closing, don't go home and go to sleep. Then you have to calm down a little bit because you're all hyped up.
And most of the men on Broadway are either married or gay.
Right.
So.
Right.
Slim pickings.
Oh, that's cool.
She's a strong woman.
And so obviously you come from a creative theater family. Do you have that in you as well? Or, why don't we do this? Why don't we introduce Kayt? This is Kayt Crow, and I'm going to introduce you. Kayt is also in the aesthetic industry, and she is co-founder with myself of the Pacific Northwest Med Spa collab, and then you also have the Northwest, I'm going to get this, Skin and Laser.
Yep, you got it.
Explain what that is.
Yeah, so Northwest Skin and Laser is an aesthetic suite. It's a little bit different than what a lot of the platforms we have out here in the Pac Northwest, specifically because a lot of the models that we currently have for business owners in aesthetics is either, one of 2 routes. You either go in and you work for an established practice, and that's how you gain your experience, and you work for them as an employee or a 1099, or you go out and you build your own. And so building your own practice, consists of all the fun, entrepreneurial hits that come with it for getting a location, building the equipment, getting product in, and then ultimately getting clients in your door. My business helps kind of take down the barrier for a lot of that for the business owners who are looking to build their business and might not have some of the resources available or some of the capital to build, equipment and to add on services. So what they do is they book with their client a service that they normally wouldn't be able to offer. So let's say a nurse injector, can do your Botox, and maybe she's licensed and trained to do your laser hair removal, but she doesn't have that device.
Right, and those devices are spendy.
They are. Yeah, they're pretty bendy.
I mean, most of them, granted, the vendors start, they say everything's 150, 180. You can get them down, but you're always looking at over $100,000 for just one device.
Yeah, it's a vehicle or a small house, depending on what state that you live in. So it is a big investment, which can come with big reward, but also I've seen time and time again, practitioners get a big old laser dropped in there, that they purchase, and they don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to integrate it. They don't know how to build it in their practice, and so they're left in kind of a bad position. So what I like to do is help break down the barrier with my business and have them be able to expand their business and build themselves as a practitioner. So they would book with their client a specific service. They come into the location of Northwest Skin and Laser. They do their service. They only pay me or Northwest Skin and Laser for the time that they're using and for the equipment that they're using. So, there's a membership. That membership comes with educational events, which are connective with other professionals in the community. Some people are looking for medical directors. Some medical directors are looking to expand their portfolio. So those kind of connections. We do business development with one-on-one, just helping businesses maintain and have an accountability or track record. But then ultimately they get to come in and utilize that space, take their client, use an equipment piece that maybe they normally wouldn't have access to. Whatever they charge within their business is, completely separate based on their business needs.
So that's really nice. If someone really loves, hydrofacial, right? Mm-hmm. They leave this med spa and they go to a different med spa that doesn't have a hydrofacial. So that they have the experience, they know how it works, and so they can just go to you. It's a great idea if you're looking to bring on a machine, or you want to purchase a machine in the future, but you want to get used to it and use it and train with it first. Mm-hmm. Now, do you offer training as well?
We will. So right now it's all, shared information or one-on-one kind of direct consultative settings. But ultimately in the future, we're going to be bringing on educators that are, some of them from our local schools or some from, the product brands themselves, to come on and do small courses for practitioners who would like some more one-on-one, hands-on.
That's cool. That's great. So, and Maddie can share more information about you, Kayt. So, if people are looking to get in touch with you, whatever the conversation is, whether, partnering up with you or using your space, it's nice because there are no options. You're either working for someone else, mm-hmm. or you're investing $1 million in opening up your own thing. And no in-between is tough. This is a nice in-between.
It's a stepping stone for people. So, it's something to help build their business and their practice, or build their skill set in maybe ways that they wouldn't have an opportunity to. They went to school and we learn on specific devices, but maybe there's a newer model, or maybe, when looking at radio frequency microneedling and bringing that into your practice, maybe you look at the Vivace, maybe you look at the Morpheus, maybe you look at the Secret. What are the pros and cons? Those are things that I like to sit down with providers and say, hey, here are the pros and cons. Here's what you're looking at. This is what consumables look like. This is what consumables don't look like, and then what's ultimately going to be the best fit for your practice and who you're trying to serve. And so those are things that I like to help kind of shift through some of the fog for providers when they're making those decisions for their business.
That's great. It's so important. It's also, and then we met when you were a vendor, mm-hmm. when we were with one of the other med spas that we work with, and being a good vendor is, I tell a lot of my clients who are med spa owners, having a good vendor is so important. It's everything, because I've had vendors where buy the machine, buy the product, and it's crickets. I hear nothing. And then there are the ones who I'm like, I know I can call or I can text you and or whoever. I mean, there's a few of them, and they're there no matter what, even if it's something that has nothing to do with anything, but they're there. But guess then what happens? When I want to buy something else, I'm going to go to the people who have had my back, who have helped me.
Yeah.
And
that trust that you built, I think, is something that I've heard time and time again as stepping into that role as a vendor, and I come into a practice saying, hey, I'm here to help, and they say, well, I've heard that before.
Right.
You know, or there's a joke in the industry saying the fastest way to get, rid of a laser rep is to buy a laser.
Right.
Because then they just, poof, disappear. A lot of this is, sometimes the people, sometimes it's sales, sometimes it's the approach that they've taken. Sometimes it's, the business itself doesn't have the support that it was, initially promising a practice, which also can be unfortunate, but somehow, pitfalls that happen in business. And then sometimes you get a really good rep, who's really taking care of you, that you have built trust with, and that's ultimately the person that that you've built comfy space with, that the only people around you in all of the rep space that you can actually have credibility and believability in that relationship with. So those were things that I was asking other business owners in Colorado at a Rocky Mountain Laser College. That's where I initially got my laser license from back in the day. And I went and I spoke with the director down there saying, hey, what's the best laser to buy? And he says, the one that you can get repaired.
Correct. Or the one that comes with a good vendor. With support.
With support.
Well,
who has
absolutely.
The best, he said, who has the best support in the Pac Northwest? And I said, that's a great question. We have a couple big brands, a couple big brands that are maybe a little bit more predominant here than they are on the East Coast. Right. Some are, across the whole nation. But ultimately, from a support perspective, who is that? Who is that company for us? And then I start asking other providers, who's the company that you guys get the best support from? And the answer varies. So,
are you going to tell me? I can tell you who I will. I don't care. We have fucking names here.
Yeah.
First of all, Cynosure.
Yep.
Cynosure, premier customer service. But here's the thing: before we name or drag anybody down, which I don't want to drag anybody down, if you think about this, all right, this is exactly, if you're a med spa owner, if you're a small business owner, how you want your vendors to relate to you is how you should be relating to your freaking clients.
Yep.
Okay? It's the same thing. It's people taking care of people. Absolutely. So a lot of med spa owners, and we'll talk about med spa because this is the industry that you're in, they'll have vendors walk in the door, and I know, I've heard, and I know, we call them the laser bros or this, whatever. I don't really care. They're still human beings. They're still people.
Yes.
They're still doing a job. Yes. They have families to support. Some of them are better than others.
Yes.
Okay? There's some real big fucking douchebags out there. Wow, we all know who they are. Should we say that name? Let's not. You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
Okay. But ultimately, they're just people. So I know a lot of, I've heard some vendors who I have very good relationships now. I'm not buying any machine, but still have created those relationships. Yeah. And I hear that they get shit on by some of these establishments, we'll say, because they're just trying to sell things. Well, guess what? It's a cohesive environment, all right? And just like you want to provide the best to your clients and your customers are expecting that same kind of caring and feeding of animals. Isn't that a book or something? That you're expecting from the vendors.
Yeah. It is very much a, client relationship, right? Like client vendor, whether, you're vending your services, they're vending their equipment. I think it very much coincides to an expectation and level of how much work you're doing for yourself, right? And how much you expect others to do for you. Kind of the most relatable thing that I can think of is when I tell a client, okay, you need to go home and use post-care because you just had, a really intense professional treatment, and this is what's going to help promote the investment that you just made, right? Those are really important things so I can get that client commitment, or else they're not going to get the result that we discussed in their consultation. Same kind of concept when it comes down to the laser reps, right? And they come in here and they're trying to help support the clients. And the clients are saying, hey, I bought this laser and nobody's coming in my door. Right? We hear that time and time again, and the laser reps get a lot of flack for it, right? Or, you bought me this thing and, I want to buy something else, but I need to get this up and off the ground first. That's also very common. So some of the things that the practitioners, can help with those relationships is having some plans in place before they purchase, right? Is ideal.
Yes. Well,
is ideal.
Don't get me freaking started, but accounting,
yes,
and marketing,
yes,
are two areas of expertise, of discipline,
yes,
that are amazingly important,
yes,
for med spa small business owners. And those are the two areas that most of the time they go, oh, I'll do that myself.
Yeah.
You can't do it yourself.
Or, not only they don't want to do it themselves, or they'll have one of their employees do it.
Or their husband, but these
who's
are
not trained,
right?
And who it's incredibly overwhelming for those people who they've then tasked out for that.
Well, just like injectors, injectors go to school, and every day they are practicing what they do.
Yes.
And they're getting better. They're staying on top of trends. Laser techs, they go to school. Every day they're practicing. They're learning new techniques through their own experience, in addition to whatever
continued education is out there. Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Marketing's the same way. Mm-hmm. Accounting's the same way. So just like I wouldn't go and be like, oh, I'm going to read 5 Google articles on how to do laser hair removal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. But because it's a different kind of science, people assume, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Well, and then when they buy a machine, and then they go, well, I bought a machine and I put it on my website and I put up an Instagram post, but nobody's coming. Well, yeah, because that's not really how it works.
Well, and that's a really great point. Speaking of integrating a device into a practice, when I was doing post-sales consumable support for these laser devices, one of the first things that I said, is we need to start marketing this now. Mm-hmm. Like, before it gets into your practice, let's go ahead and start building the material.
Yes, let's build.
Yeah.
Build excitement. Yeah.
So, and building the content that comes behind it. It's like, this is, the content, the SEO that needs to go up on your website when you're ready to launch. Okay, this is, 6 weeks prior to opening, this is what you guys should be doing to make sure that by the time that this is ready, you guys can hit the ground running, because,
correct,
a body in motion stays in motion. A project in motion stays in motion. If you let it get stagnant and you let it start collecting dust, that's the best way for these devices to die, essentially. Like, they
right,
just sit there unused in a practice. The practitioner or the owner is, forking out payments on a device that they're not getting any use out of. And that is the most sad thing I can see in a practice when I walk in, is a device not getting used because
they're not working it.
Because
they're not working it.
People want these treatments. People
yes,
ask me all the time, hey, Kayt, I'm sagging here. What do I do? Of course, we're in the day and age where they don't want expensive surgery, and they think that maybe these procedures are unobtainable for them, but they're not, right? It's not just Kim Kardashian and Kate Hudson who are, going out and being able to get these procedures. They're leading the way, and they're showing you that it's okay and it's safe.
What the hell is Kim Kardashian doing? She's getting cut, right? That woman,
I don't know, but I know.
I don't understand how her waist is so small and her ass is so big. I don't understand
She
that.
got her butt taken care of.
Well, that's
It's
proportion wise. It's gone.
So she got all the implants taken out?
That's also very popular nowadays.
Well, then let me ask you this question, since you're a practitioner. Okay, in my brain, you take all that out, it just falls flat.
You have skin laxity, like no one's business. So you have to do either, and I'm not a plastic surgeon, but from the ones that I know, I would assume that they would do tucking of the skin to firm and tighten that. From what I know as a laser tech, you would have to do a series of radio frequency skin tightening treatments, in addition with muscle stimulation to give you volume to plump back up or to fill in that that.
And she's in her
volume.
40s, so she's not building collagen like she used to. So she needs really a lot of that collagen building.
I mean, I'm sure she has a great team.
She probably has machines in her house.
I mean, I'm assuming so.
Right.
She was one of the first celebrities to spearhead Morpheus 8, which is, the really big, popular, RF device. It works great. It works wonders. It's painful. It's painful.
So painful.
Like, I'm not going to lie.
That's why I like Cynosure. And their Potenza.
So the Potenza is great as well. I almost bought it. I like the tiger tip. I like the infusion. I like that concept. But ultimately, for me, I'm a functionality girl, and I'm like, okay, what is a dedicated device versus a multifunctional
Oh, absolutely.
device, right?
It does one thing.
It does one thing,
Right.
where I do like certain things where you can get an RF microneedling in conjunction with either a 1540, which is non-ablative resurfacing, or you can pair it with CO2. In the state of Oregon, you have to be a doctor or PA or something, of that licensure to do the CO2 aspect. But for advanced estheticians in Oregon, that 1540 nanometer wavelength is money.
So what is tell me what that is.
1540 nanometer wavelength on the electromagnetic
Look at how
spectrum.
excited you just got when you started saying that. Did you see that? Go ahead.
I just love it. It's so great. So it's skin resurfacing and skin rejuvenation. That's non-ablative, so you don't vaporize or you don't cause any visible holes through the skin, but you're using a specific wavelength to target a specific chromophore within the skin. And so typically we've only had 3 chromophores to work with. Now, thanks to Cutera,
What's a chromophore?
we have 5 or 4. Chromophore is a target. So when you have a weapon and I'm shooting towards my target, I want to make sure that I'm hitting the target that I want and not just blasting everything, right? I want a laser. I don't want a shotgun. So when I'm looking for a chromophore, it is on the electromagnetic spectrum. It's where it has the highest absorption rate of that wavelength for the target that we're looking for.
Okay, so give me an example of what kind of treatment you're talking about, why this person is getting the treatment. Who is this person?
So out of the chromophores, you have hemoglobin, melanin, and water, and now we have the ability to touch sebum, so we have 4 chromophores. 1540 nanometers touches water chromophore. So water within our skin, when you target it for a specific amount of heat, for a specific amount of time, it causes our cells, our biology to have a reaction. And so within this reaction, it's stimulating certain things. So when we're doing a 1540, we're able to touch deep down into like the dermis and the epidermis and down to the dermis without vaporizing or obliterating anything on top, so it's completely safe, but it gets a little hot, so you're building heat. And what it's doing is it's causing a specific wound. It's heating up that
so
water.
It's not boiling the water,
No.
which is exactly... Maddie, are you not paying attention? Maddie, I'm going to say jokes over here, and I expect you to either roll your eyes or laugh.
You guys are talking about lasers and aesthetics. I'm like...
No, I know, but she's talking about boiling water under my skin.
So it causes a reaction to the water in your skin. So the better hydrated you are, if you're drinking a gallon of water or 2 gallons, or you go get an IV drip before your skin resurfacing treatment, you're going to get better results because you're going to have a higher target. You're going to have more target to work with.
More water.
If you go get if you do prep for that treatment, if you go get a microneedling treatment done, 4 to 6 weeks prior, and you're building up that skin health, you're going to build up the hydration in your skin. You're going to end up getting a better result. So what does that nanometer do? It targets and stimulates collagen and elastin, right? It causes a wound, and then it makes your body heal itself over a course of, anywhere between 2 to 12 weeks is when your body is building and absorbing all that energy, and then it has to process it through, and whatever your body doesn't push up and out, you excrete it through blood, sweat, urine.
Okay.
And that's how your body pumps it out.
So this is 1540 is a collagen... Well, obviously it does 4 different things.
Nope, so it just touches that one chromophore of water. There are 4 chromophores. Water is the chromophore, that 1540
So if someone,
touches.
and so it's building collagen.
Yes.
What is the person who's getting this treated for? So if someone And that sounds fantastic. But what am I, if I'm looking on, say I'm looking on Viva Aesthetics and Ridgefield's website, right? And what issue is it that I'm trying to solve besides collagen building? Because collagen building is great, but then something like the IPL gets rid of brown spots and builds collagen. It usually is paired with something else, is what I'm saying. So what is someone searching for in order to get this?
This is really, that's a great question. Scar reduction, skin texture. It helps smooth out. It's safe for all Fitzpatrick. So
is this IPL we're talking about?
No, it's not. It's a wavelength. So you can't see it. 1540. You have to wear eye pro. You know, your client has to also wear.
What
eye
machine
protection.
is this? What is a med spa promoting this as?
So
is it Laser Genesis?
There's a bunch of different machines.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of different machines that carry 1540 nanometer within its wavelength. So that's when you come out to which brands, right? This is this is the service. This is the result. This is what the type of result that I'm needing to bring into my practice. Now, these 4 laser devices carry a 1540 nanometer wavelength within their box. What are the pros and cons of those boxes? Why would I bring that box versus this box into my practice?
Well, first tell me the 4.
Oh, well, I'd have to look that up. I don't have that off the top of my head.
What the hell, man?
There's a ton of different lasers out there. So the one that I know off the top of my head that has a 1540, I know Cynosure has one, and I know Keytera has one. So
do you know what they call it?
I know that I think the Cynosure one might be the Icon.
Okay.
It's the Icon. It's a multifunction
Is this a
device.
Newer type of laser?
These wavelengths have been alive since light has existed. Now, capturing these wavelengths in a tolerable treatment, that is where the science comes into play. That is where, what kind of cooling do we have to do? Do we have to do numbing? Is there numbing required for 1540? Yes. You want to be numbed. Why? Because afterwards you get your post treatment results, which is erythema and edema, or redness and swelling is what your clinical
what would a med spa call this treatment?
Anything that they want, really.
No, I mean, is this Fraxel? Is this a fractional
It's fractional non-ablative.
Got it.
Yeah,
fractional non-ablative
skin resurfacing.
Skin resurfacing.
With a 1540, because you can have fractional non-ablative. Well, really, that is the wavelength for non-ablative, because if you were to go up to a CO2, it then ablates. CO2 is an ablating.
And ablate means it
vaporizes the little baby hole. It aerates your lawn.
Oh, it aerates your skin.
Yeah, your skin lawn, and so it leaves connective tissue.
So that means downtime comes with
a little bit more downtime. So you have more downtime with the CO2 skin resurfacing than what you do with the 1540. 1540 goes deeper. CO2 is more superficial. So CO2 is great for deeper wrinkles, deep scars, deep trauma scars, deep acneic, ice pick scars, but CO2 is only safe for skin types 1 through 3, so your lighter skin tones.
I have seen the CO2 treatments. They're scary.
I love it. I've had it done on myself. I'll do it again.
That's huge downtime, right?
No, so if you do proper post-care, I've had a full 1,500 pulses of RF microneedling on my neck to décolleté, and then we topped it off with CO2 on top. And I did, I think we used SkinCeuticals. This was in Salt Lake City at a plastic surgeon's office. She used SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic right after, and some sterile saline compresses. The redness and inflammation was down so quick compared to how red I typically am. And I took photos of my following days. It looked like maybe I had a light suntan.
Really?
And then the texture of CO2 kind of feels like sandpaper on your skin. It kind of feels like a little grainy because you develop a micro scab at that top of the vaporation hole. So you have sandpaper skin for maybe 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's cool. So now so if someone was interested in learning about this laser or do you do consulting? So if someone's interested, say this is a huge need, because if you own a med spa or you own aesthetics and practice or anything, and you get these vendors who come in, you have very little time. First of all, you're running a business, or you have employees, or you're not the decider, the decision maker. Deciding and waiting and weeding through all the shit and all of the, this guy has this and everybody says theirs is the best, and they like to trash the other people.
They're all great.
Right.
I'm brand agnostic. I think they all have a great purpose.
But someone like you, Kayt, someone could use you as a consultant, whether they come to your location and try the thing out, but that would be something that you offer. You can say,
absolutely.
We'll make sure that people can contact you if, any advice about any kind of machines. I mean,
and it's inclusive of the membership. So any practices and providers who are part of the membership at Northwest Skin and Laser get access to, a one-on-one consult with me at least each month, in addition to the consultative membership events and stuff that we're going to be hosting. So we'll have like dietitians come up there, we'll have injectionists come up there, we'll have the laser reps come up there, speak about a specific modality or treatment, or a couple multi-modalities. And so those classes will be hosted once a month. And then they also get access to the other amenities that we have at the location, which are just
that's great. So I mean, that's fantastic. Now let's take a left turn.
Okay.
Because yesterday I was in Southeast Portland. I'm still learning what everything is at Wonderlove.
Yeah.
So and I think we talked about this last night, Maddie. On the way home, Maddie and I went down and visited Kayt's other business, because why not have more than one? And this is a startup, and you're doing this with your partner, which we always talk about in business, and women in business, and then involving the man, or I guess this is more his thing, and you're helping him.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with lasers, has nothing to do with med spas.
Correct.
Is really a cool place. It's kind of a downtown, right near OMSI, again, one of my favorite places in the world. Food cart, music, bar. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to have you guys out. We're really excited. It's been a long journey, but definitely my honey, he's been working with his business partner, and then they created Wonderlove. And it's a triple-story bar with 12 food truck pods, an entertainment space, and a great collab space for, hopefully everyone of the Southeast Portland area. They started with an idea 2 years ago, and the guys kind of got together, went on their first couple dates, decided yes, they had good chemistry, they had a similar vision, and that they were going to go for it. So many months later, they found the location. I sat down and I was at the left seat, right seat dinner of the prior owners of that location. And so it used to be a manufacturing warehouse, and they had a couple located in Portland. And so this was beat up. It had been abandoned for a good couple years. They were, kind of done with it, and it had the right space and kind of the right potential for what we were looking for. So now when you go down there, you won't see like the factory stuff. You still might see on the outside there's some tattoos, which we're going to leave up some of the local art. But now on the inside, you can see some of the local muralists have come in. Really incredible muralists. We have the Pander brothers, which are really popular out here. We have Munta, who was a street artist, street muralist that they found. My sister painted one of the murals for, another TOHS.
Is this a dancing sister?
No,
the Broadway sister?
This is a little
the
sister.
other.
She's an artist sister. She paints.
Okay.
Yeah. 4 brothers, 4 sisters. They got a lot of talent to spread out.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
There are 9 children in your family?
But we're not full blood. We're half. That's a whole nother podcast, which would take an entire 2 hours.
It usually is, right?
Yeah, I got a family forest, not a family tree. So yeah, one of my little sisters who graduated from Tualatin High School and one of her theater friends, they went out there and they built one of the murals or crafted one of the murals on the back side of the building. We have a space cat on the other.
It's beautiful. The murals are beautiful.
They're my favorite.
It's such a nice vibe. It's just a nice feeling when you go there. It doesn't feel... okay, how do I say this? It doesn't feel that weird... Like, it feels like I bring my kids there.
That's what we want. We want you to be able to be like, okay, where can I go for a glass of wine and bring my kid?
Right. And it does, like, I didn't feel like, oh, are there like weird homeless people like gonna accost me? You know what I mean? Like, it feels more, I don't know. I felt like, I would go here. I would go to OMSI. Then I take a nice little stroll, 10-minute stroll down the street. Yep.
Yeah, and the vibes will change kind of like depending on the day of the week, right? Like, so people come in from OMSI. I went there to watch the lunar eclipse with my mom, and I was like, oh, it'd be nice if our cart was open right now, because it would have been a lovely walk straight from there. So we have 3 kids. Everybody has kids that we are friends with, so we wanted to make sure that they can come, have a drink, have some food, and enjoy the outside space, and also have it be a kid-safe space, up until a certain hour. And then we like to change up the vibe. Of course. We're down the road from City Liquidators, so they have, a good crowd in the evening times. When people are done checking out the City Liquidators and the City Night Market, which is incredible if you haven't been to the Portland Night Market. I haven't. It's incredible. Oh my gosh, we definitely should go. And then afterwards, we'll walk down and... So
it's all in the same area?
It's like 2 or 3 blocks.
But in that area?
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're in between Portland City Night Market with the City Liquidators and OMSI. And then there's Wonderlove. Okay,
and we're going to make the assumption, let's just spread it out, because like with any new business, you put all your plans in place, and then everybody and their brother goes, fuck you and your fucking plans, we're going to do it my way, or not do it my way, or we're going to change the way, and things continue on and on and on.
Yeah.
And this is talking women in business and starting your own business and I have yet to either start or be involved with a startup where it doesn't go longer and more expensive than you plan.
Yes.
So anybody, here's my PSA, Maddie. It's a good one. It's actually not offensive or anything. If you're starting your own thing, understand you are working for free, your ass off for years. Years. Yeah. You're just gonna freaking keep on working. You're getting up at the crack of dawn. You're gonna work until you go to sleep. You're gonna dream about it. You're gonna think about it at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're gonna keep going, and you're gonna keep going, and nobody's gonna care how tired you are. Nobody's gonna care how much money you spent because you decided to do this. However, if you don't quit, because the only people who fail are the people who quit.
Yeah.
If you don't quit and go through all those ups and downs and hate it and have meltdowns, I think, Maddie, you had a meltdown this week. I had a meltdown last week. It happens.
I'm due for one.
And it could be nothing. Things could be great, and you could go home, and your husband or your kid or your partner says something else.
Yeah.
Or you had a bad day, and then one person says that one extra thing that knocks you off the edge. And you go, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore. This is a waste of my time. Nobody cares. I'm losing money.
To turn back now?
Can I turn back now?
Yeah.
But then what do? If you're a true entrepreneur, you wake up the next morning and you keep on going.
You make your bed.
Right.
And you do it again.
And you keep on going.
Yeah.
And it will work out.
Yeah.
It always does. Yeah. If you pivot, because you always have to pivot in the process.
Support and perseverance, I think, is super key.
And flexibility.
You can't.
Because all your plans and how you think it's going to go, it's not how it's always going to go.
They're going to go out the window. It's guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's all part of it.
And that's the part of the journey. And you can maybe follow us on social media. It's been the journey of... we were hoping to open this business 2 years ago, guess what? Summer of 2024 is when it's meant to be, and
Yes.
is when
I can't wait.
we're going to be able to bring our best foot forward. You know, we had the interviews for the mixologists. We have some really excellent bartenders coming on the team. The food carts are incredible. We have Indian food, we have Egyptian, we have sushi, we have Mexican, we have pizza. Like, there's a couple more coming in. I think
Something for everybody.
Hawaiian, I think, is coming in. It's a really an eclectic group of carts, and I can tell you that me and my children have personally tested food carts for the past several months. So all of the food carts are incredible, and there's really a palette for everybody. And then the bar is an energy in its own, you know. It's a space for everybody to come in that southeast, you know, downtown industrial space, come off from work and enjoy themselves and enjoy a community. And ideally, we're going to have some really great, mostly local business or local musicians that are going to be up there. So we have DJs, we have strummers, we have bands of all kinds, and, you know, the day of the week will kind of determine who you get to hear, but it's really a great group of eclectic business owners, and
it's exciting. I mean,
they're pumping it out because you haven't even seen the helmets, right? Because then out one door we have helmets, out one door we have a bar, and then out the back door I think they have another.
Explain the helmet thing. The helmet is one of the owners is also the owner of Love Buckets.
Yes. So Wonderlove has two owners, Michael and Joel. Joel does all the operations and stuff. Michael's definitely the visionary. Michael's other business is Love Bucket Helmets. So they're really unique, really fun designs. He's a great designer. Bicycle helmets, skateboard helmets, you know, roller skates, anything that you would like for yourself or your kid. And there's a helmet for everybody. So that'll be coming as well.
That's cool.
I think it's like already up and running. I'm not exactly sure on that side of the business, but I know that I'm going to be having one, and I want my name on it. I want to get a sticker. You know, those people do the, you know,
like the autograph,
like the crickets or something.
Well, that's exciting. So you've got the laser stuff, and then you have this.
Yeah.
And how's that working out with kids? And I mean, because ultimately, it's not easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, nothing that's worth it is easy. That's what I've been told.
See, there we go. That's right.
No, I have amazing children, 16, 17, and 8. So they're really self-sufficient. They help us out a lot. So like my boys come down to the building and power wash. My daughter comes and helps me in my spa office right now.
I love that. My father, we always went to his job, and we worked his camps in the summer, and I mean, we worked.
Yeah, they work.
And I think that was so good for us.
Well, and it helps us. So we get to help teach them. We get to spend some time with them, where usually we'll be working. And we work hard so we can play hard. That's kind of the motto in my house.
And they see how much work it takes
Yes.
to do something.
Yeah.
It's not like a snap of the fingers and all of a sudden everything's wonderful and perfect, and how things don't go as planned.
There's a grind to the rise, and I think that within my business of aesthetics, and, I like to help boost other businesses, and that's kind of the role that I found that I love. I also like to help, build up and support the bar and the food trucks, and that's something that, that is going to bring wealth to the community. And then ultimately my goal is, to have a good, stable space for my kids to come back. They're military children, so they've moved a ton.
Right, because you were in the military.
I was in the service.
Right.
Yeah.
Up until, when did you get out of the service?
2016.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, when my daughter was born, I rode my maternity leave out. And then that's when I segued out. And then I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my civilian career? And then I hated shaving my legs. And so I went into lasers.
Maddie, isn't that the final? I mean, that's fantastic. You hated shaving your legs.
That's what got me into aesthetics. And it was either nursing or aesthetics. And then I found a blend of my organizational background, because I did logistics and management in the military, and then I love beauty and development, and so that's kind of where I fell.
That's great. Well, I mean, I'm very excited for not just Wonderlove. Obviously, that's more of a downtime. I mean, realistically, at this point, I'd be like, okay, let's go to Wonderlove this weekend, you know? But then also for the other things. And Maddie will share everything. But thank you so much, my dear, for talking.
Well, and hopefully we'll be able to host, you know, a PNW Mid-South collaborative.
Yeah, we'll be doing our thing together. Oh, there we go.
Wonderlove and here, you know, hopefully in the future, and you know, we can just get other business owners together and, you know, see what people need, and if people want to come out for pizza and a beer,
there we go.
Welcome too.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a party. Set a date, Maddie. All right.
Got plans.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, thanks for listening to the end. Since you made it this far, I can give you a sneak peek into our next episode. We have Deb visiting us. She's local here in downtown Ridgefield, but she has some understanding of things that I don't even know. I can't give too much away now, but you won't want to miss this episode. There's going to be a lot to learn. And as always, just in case, there is no legal or medical advice intended at any portion of this episode. We only do this for educational and entertainment reasons. Thanks again from Vitality Ventures Group. How are you using your power?